everyone! Welcome back to IMG Helping Hands. Today, we have a critical update that matters a lot for international medical graduates, or IMGs. Here's the scoop. Starting July 1st, 2025, the passing score for the USMLE Step 2 Clinical Knowledge Exam will increase, up from 214 to 218. That means if you score 217 or lower, you will now fail, even though that same score would have passed before. We know this increase of just 4 points might sound small, but it can mean several more correct questions are needed to pass. This change can affect your entire preparation and even your match chances. So in this video, we will cover 1. Why the score was raised. 2. What this means specifically for IMGs. 3. How to adjust your study plan. 4. Practical steps to secure a passing and competitive score. If you are planning to take Step 2 CK this summer or fall, especially as an IMG, this video is for you. Why was the score increased? Let's start with the why. Every few years, the USMLE Management Committee reviews passing standards. This review includes expert panels of practicing doctors, educators, and licensing officials, surveys from program directors, faculty, and exam takers, analysis of trends in test performance, consideration of score reliability and statistical margins. In June 2025, they found that knowledge expectations of the programs had grown, and they decided to raise the bar by 4 points to 218, effective July 1st, 2025. This is part of a regular cycle, similar to the 2022 increase from 209 to 214. What matters is this is not about making the test harder or changing the content. The exam format, scaling, and scoring process remain the same. Only the cutoff for passing has shifted upward. What are the implications for IMGs? All right, now let's really dig into the most important question of all. What does this change actually mean for international medical graduates? This is more than just a 4-point increase in the passing score. Let's break it down into specific categories so you can clearly understand how this score hike touches every stage of your preparation, application, and future. 1. Passing is no longer enough. In the past, many IMGs felt relieved just by passing Step 2 clinical knowledge. And that made sense, especially because Step 1 was hard and stressful, and many people just wanted to get it over with. But now, with Step 1 being pass-fail, Step 2 clinical knowledge is the main score that residency programs use to judge your academic strength. It's like your new Step 1, but even more important because it actually tests real clinical thinking. So when the passing mark increases from 214 to 218, it raises the bar. What used to be a safety net now becomes the minimum entry point. Because the average U.S. medical graduate now scores between 240 to 250, and many residency programs use that as a benchmark. So even if you pass at 218, you may still be seen as less competitive. More pressure on a single score. Let me ask you this. Do you have U.S. clinical experience? Do you have letters of recommendation from American doctors? Have you done research in the U.S.? Are you a recent graduate, or did you graduate a few years ago? If you're like many IMGs, the answer might be, I have one observership, but no hands-on. My letters are from my home country. I graduated 3 or 4 years ago. And that's okay. But here's the truth. In the absence of strong U.S. experience, most program directors look at your Step 2 CK score as the only hard number they can trust. Your score becomes your brand. It's your resume. It's your elevator pitch. So when the pass score increases to 218, it means that average is no longer enough. Even a score of 220 to 225 might not be seen as competitive anymore in busy programs. 3. Stricter filters during interview selection. Let's talk about something nobody really says out loud. Residency programs use filters. Yes, programs receive thousands of applications. Many get 3,000 to 5,000 applications for just 10 to 20 spots. So how do they sort through all that? They use filters like graduation year, usually within 5 years, visa requirements. Some reject all visa-needing applicants. U.S. clinical experience. And yes, Step 2 score cutoffs. Programs often set these filters in the Electronic Residency Application System, ERAS. Like, only show applicants with Step 2 CK greater than 230. Only show applicants who passed on first attempt. Only show applicants with scores in top 50th percentile. Now think about what happens if your score is 219 and the new pass mark is 218. Technically, you passed. But in a filter set to 220 and above, you may not even appear in the program director's list. That's why this score change isn't just a small bump. It could shrink your chances of getting interview invites. 4. It raises the bar for international applicants overall. Let's be honest. This score increase sends a subtle message to program directors. We're expecting more from everyone, especially those applying from outside the U.S. As expectations rise, even IMGs, who were previously considered average, now need to become above average. So what was once a decent score of 220 in 2020 is now just barely scraping by. This is especially true in programs that used to accept more IMGs. Community hospitals, family medicine programs, internal medicine programs with J1 sponsorship. Those programs now face more competition, and they raise their own expectations accordingly. IMGs must now be strategic, not just hardworking. If you're studying 10 hours a day without direction, that's the baseline. Residency programs expect that. Now, the question becomes, what are you doing with those 10 hours? They want smart studying, not just long hours. They want to know, are you tracking your weak spots? Do you adjust after each mock exam? Are you building a buffer so you safely beat 218? Programs don't have time or patience for unfocused labor. They look for results, progress, consistency, improvements. Strategy key 1. Set targets beyond passing. Don't just aim to beat 218. Reverse engineer for your specialty. Identify the median Step 2 CK score for matched IMGs in your desired field. Use 10 to 15 points above that as your target. For example, internal medicine IMGs matched at 233 to 243. So you should aim for 245 plus, especially in competitive spots. Your target score affects how fast you tackle Q-Bank questions, how often you take full mocks, how aggressively you rev. Data-driven preparation of USMLE Step 2 CK. How to score higher. Step 2 clinical knowledge is a different beast. Today, if you want to succeed, truly succeed, not just scrape by. You need more than hard work. You need data. You need to study with focus, tracking, and strategy. Step 1. Take a diagnostic exam before anything else. Your first step is not to open a textbook or rush into question banks. It's to take a full-length diagnostic test. Think of it as a checkup for your knowledge. Use something official, like an NBME self-assessment or UWorld's self-assessment forms. Sit down, simulate a real exam, and complete it honestly. Once you're done, check your score. Are you at 210, 220, 230? That number tells you how far you are from your goal. Just as important, look at your performance breakdown. Which subjects are strong? Which ones are pulling your score down? You don't want to guess what your weak areas are. You want to know. That's what the diagnostic gives you, a baseline. Step 2. Track your accuracy by system and topic. As you begin doing practice questions, whether it's UWorld, Amboss, or another QBank, start paying close attention to patterns. Which systems are you consistently weak in? Are you better at psychiatry but struggling with OB/GYN? Are you missing nephrology questions due to confusion around lab values? Every time you finish a set of questions, track your performance. But don't stop at right or wrong. Ask yourself, how confident were you in your answer? Why did you get it wrong? Was it a content gap, a test-taking error, or a misunderstanding of the question stem? Keep a separate mistake log. You can use Google Sheets, Notion, or even a simple notebook. Write down the question topic, what the right answer. Step 3. Use trends to guide your review. Doing a few random review sessions is not enough. You need to review based on data trends. For example, if after 3 weeks of study, your performance in cardiology remains under 60%, that's a red flag. It tells you cardiology needs special attention, not just more questions, but deeper learning. That might mean watching educational videos on murmurs or congestive heart failure. It could mean reviewing guidelines for cardiac arrest, or building flashcards specifically for EKG interpretation. If infectious diseases are a consistent weakness, maybe you're missing antibiotic mechanisms or misreading case scenarios. Whatever it is, your job is to target the weak point and patch it. Step 4. Don't just track speed, track depth. We often hear students say, "I've done 120 questions in a day already," as if volume alone guarantees progress. But here's the truth. It's not about how many questions you do. It's about how many you truly understand. Start paying attention to your first pass accuracy in each system. How are you doing the first time you see a question in OB, or surgery, or endocrine? Now, when you go back for your second pass, are you scoring better? If not, that means your review process isn't working. Let's say 5 weeks ago, you were scoring 58% in cardiology. 2 weeks later, you're at 62%. And by week 5, you're at 68%. That's growth. That's what data-driven study is meant to do. Step 5. Reinforce learning with spaced repetition. One of the biggest traps students fall into is rereading the same notes over and over again. It feels productive, but it rarely leads to retention. Instead, switch to active recall and spaced repetition. Use flashcards. Make them personal, based on the mistakes from your logs and mock exams. Use Anki or Quizlet or even paper cards, whatever works best for you. The key is to test yourself, not just reread. And space your reviews. Don't look at the same material daily. Come back to it after 2 days, then 5 days, then 2 weeks. This trains your memory to hold on longer. Conclusion. Let me be clear. You certainly need hard work. But if you think hard work alone is enough, you're missing the point. Your Step 2 CK score gives programs confidence, but poor performance elsewhere can diminish it. Make sure to round out your application with strong letters from U.S. clinical supervisors, a coherent personal statement explaining your journey, any research, volunteering, or observerships that add value. A high score with no clinical connection or explanation may raise questions. Stay committed. It's a challenge, but absolutely manageable. You can pass and match. Hit like, subscribe, and share with your IMG community. You've got this.